Michael got gobsmacked by language at an early age, wrapped by the wizardry of Shakespeare, the Celtic spells of Yeats. Growing up Roman Catholic in a place characterized as hell with the lid off, colored his life in ways he's still discovering after 7 decades. His book is The Cosmology of Heaven and Hell. Please welcome Michael.
Thanks, Elena. Thanks, Bookmine. Thank you, our wonderful library. I'll be reading from my collection, Cosmology of Heaven and Hell. Elvis reinvents television. The quiet boy from Tupelo set tubes aglow on the Sullivan Show with cotton-pickin' hound dog Caterwall, a campfire guitar he could almost play, slung from his shoulder like a shotgun. The way he shook his hips black and white, everyone could tell color was coming. So I did grow up in Pittsburgh, characterized by one travel writer as hell with the lid off. It's spelled B-U-R-G-H. Like Edinburgh, Scotland, and it was probably pronounced Pittsburgh by General Forbes, British General Forbes, who was a Scot, named it after William Pitt. This is called the H in Pittsburgh. Height of archaic hindsight, heirloom of vintage. Hangover from Scotch-Irish, hailing from Highland heather and Hibernian harbors. Held hostage by graveyard shifts in heart-stopping heat. Hunkies who followed, seared faces streaked gray as the stack spewed dawn steam whistle's delivery. Hell's recess bell, proclaiming, here's how. To make a Boilermaker, drop a shot glass of whiskey into a draft and watch it dive down to the bottom. 1 or 2 and you forget. Heaps of slag, hearths igniting the night, hell with the lid off. Homestead holdouts, hireling hoodlums, hammer and tongs, hate hanging on in the slow, cold fire of rust. Hills and hollows of home, exhausted sigh, ghost breath. So Pittsburgh wasn't all sulfur dioxide and slag heaps. I had a few happy memories. When I was a kid, most baseball games were not televised. They were on the radio. My grandfather, whom we all called Pops, was a great baseball fan. So I use a bit of jargon in this poem. The word fungo. Fungo is a ground ball fielding practice where a coach uses a light bat called a fungo bat. Makes it easier for him to hit ground balls. This is called baseball on the radio. Long before desire benched the boy I was and took the field, we escaped baking in our old brick oven those summer nights when Pops ran a cord to the porch window so we could sit listening to katydid shrieks compete with buzzing ballpark fans peppered by vendors hawking cold beer and peanuts as fireflies signaled heater, deuce. The zenith glowed like the tip of Pop's cigar as the commentator fungoed lapidary stats between plug of chew yarns, green as the outfield. Like the one about Casey Stengel. Booed at the plate in Brooklyn, Casey doffed his cap, releasing a bird that flew over the stunned, silent crowd. Or the time he thought it too dark to play and signaled the bullpen with a lantern. Those spells kept us wrapped in the windup, the pitch, the crack of horsehide on ash, the majestic arc pictured in the words of a waking dream. Poetry flying like Casey's dove, timeless as a summer night, on waves of amplitude, out to diamond stars, modulated memories crackling with static, fading in and out. A lot has changed in the 40 plus years since I signed up on a fire crew with the U.S. Forest Service. More people have moved out into the wildlands, and the climate has become hotter and drier, making fire season much more hazardous. But that summer of 1980, fire season for me was an almost religious experience. fire season. That summer, I quit my flatland job and gave away my books and bed for a pilgrimage to the Sierra. Novitiate in a blackened order, marching up mountains through blizzards of ash, ablaze with acolyte zeal, tempered and fed by the ache and sweat of Pulaski axe and shovel, raking ash dune hotspots, emptying piss pumps on the glowing heart of charred stumps, while air tankers bombed the ridgetop with pink clouds of retardant, and cliff-hugging choppers dropped a winter's worth of water in monsoon bucket loads. Fire's got smoke-eater nicknames. Elephant Fire for its pachyderm boulders. Happy Fire for flames that lay down like lovers. Weathermaker that blotted out the sun. Autumn doused me, rolled me wholly down slope into a vehicle behind miles of taillights, crawling into the veracity, where I traded rigorous peaks of creed for easy apostasy. From bracing the sky, my giants fell to human conflagration. Unchurched from my green cathedral, my foot strayed outside the black. I wait for devotion's spark, for ponderosas crowned with tongues of flame to preach me again their right. So one popular interpretation of quantum mechanics, called the many worlds theory, posits that there are virtually infinite outcomes for every event, and each one is its own universe. Thus, in one universe, boy gets girl, and in the universe next door, he does not. Alternate lives. Blonde Donna, Raven Harriet, you both bathed unbeknownst in diluvial longing, overflowing from the moony homeroom boy who'd scribbled hearts around your names, penciled in between French declensions and roots of X. That dry-mouthed boy in the corner who, at the bell, never scrounged up nerve to ask you out. But in sundry universes of the infinite what-if, smoother incarnations woo you both, one whirlwind, one lasting years. Each leads to union, house, kids, the works. The tree of life keeps branching though, boughs for dove and crow alike. Donna grows bored and leaves with both kids, so I joyfully marry Harriet. But her sudden death puts me on the skids. Grief leads to downward spiral, overdose, orphaned son. Meanwhile, a fool in some backwater continuum goes on mooning over what might have been. Oftentimes, our idols have feet of clay. This is called Audubon's shame. Illustrious Audubon routinely slew and devoured with relish the same birds he drew. On his quest for natural preservation, he would brook no gustative reservation. Each rosy spoonbill, each rare chickadee was roasted or stewed in a fine fricassee. From palate to palate, from perch to plate, his artistic taste sealed each subject's fate. Cry foul if you will. In the artist's defense, populations ornithic in his day were so dense that skyward chucked missiles from most any venue would garner the chucker a gastronome menu. He left it for us to conserve and ecologize. But were he alive, I'm sure he'd apologize. So with the holidays rapidly approaching, this is a poem about a different spirit of Christmas, one that many people are probably familiar with though. Xmas Blues. Your old nemesis blues knocks just before the holidays, barging in with the cold, with a gift for the tree you already know is filched or hand-me-down trash you won't use. Though you'll say, thanks, how did you know? Knowing it will gather dust in the closet till you haul it to the dump and pay to waste it. You take blues out drinking, thinking you'll both cheer up, but blues makes you buy, pleading poverty, and gets mean drunk, loud and insulting, and you both get tossed on your asses. You walk home, Find a notice on the door, your stuff on the sidewalk, including the drooping tree, but the gifts are gone. Blues passes out on your ratty couch, leaving you broke and shivering in the icy starlight, overnight expressed from Bethlehem. And here's one for New Year's Eve. Toast. Sipping an unassuming vintage, sunk down on the couch alone, as video-delayed pyrotechnics shower India, the ball drops in Times Square, I fight to stay awake for the Pacific Auld Lang Syne, for my solo croon to old acquaintance in a lower key. The dance floor now beyond my pale, I rock out in a comfy chair, remembering the hell I raised like a stranger's biopic, a wavering reflection, the object in the mirror further than he appears, vanishing with a wink when I glance over my shoulder, clothed in a decorum I once made light of, a serenity whose slippers fit more comfortably each year. At the stroke of 12, a rowdy neighbor shoots his gun, his time-honored right to ward off evil spirits, roosting in the chasm between revelry's last gasp and the dawning of a hungover January 1. To you, my crony party animals, revenant faces half dissolved in memory, like gusanos sunk in dusty mezcal bottles, or a half-forgotten shelf, or snatches of old songs I half remember, I raise a modest toast. Sing along with you, muted chorus of my ghosts. How am I doing?
Great, hot mix.
Perfect. So just a couple more. This grew out of a conversation I had with myself at 3 a.m. in the dark. Colloquy with death. I was chatting with death the other day, shooting the breeze in a whatever happened to what's-his-name conversation when, out of nowhere, he startled me with a confession. Bursting into tears, he wailed he feels worthless, racked by self-loathing. I was taken aback. I didn't think we were close enough for that kind of sharing. Awkward. Ever agile, I played the puffer. You are the tortilla, I said, of the whole enchilada. The arrow shot through love's heart. But I don't think he bought my bonhomie. As my proffered garlands wilted, seized by unease, I broke things off with a wave, a crack and a smile, all the best, etc., and walked briskly away, feeling hollow eyes following me, wondering what in the world to do with this frightening new intimacy. So I'll end with a cheery thought. We're all gamblers. We bet our life every day. Life is always a gamble. And the longer we live, the longer the odds of seeing one more sunrise. Letting it ride. Golden poppies line the walk to the doctor's office, a sunny omen, failing to calm butterflies. Each checkup, a lottery at my time of life, in which I hope my number won't come up. The doc, a chipper, silver-haired, pen and paper devotee, grouses about technology as he scans the computer screen for red flags in blood work, reciting the litany of dangers, diet, drink, depression, reminding me each day is a hedge against the next. Resist the urge to go all in. Following examination, listening for a murmur, a telltale breath, poking, prodding, does this hurt? He pronounces me a winner. My blood not yet congealed to sludge, my liver not yet pickled. We pick a date to follow up when poppies will have withered, their gold stolen by aspen leaves. I rise, shake hands, commiserate with life out of touch, so disheartening. Wish him luck, vow not to gamble my health before rushing outside, cashing in my jackpot of poppies. Thank you very much.